MINI, an iconic brand and name associated with the likes of John Cooper, go-kart type handling, and just plain fun and quirkiness. MINI Coopers have been around since 1959, and the first generation were small two-door, four-seat hatchbacks. They were unlike most cars at that time and had proven themselves in rally racing by winning against more powerful but less agile cars and gained the love of the public and celebrities with its cute and fun design. In the 1990s, BMW purchased the Rover Group, who at the time owned the MINI Cooper line, and reintroduced the new second gen of Minis in the early 2000s. The second generation Mini had turbocharged options, upgraded interiors, and over 1 million different ways to make it your own by customizing. They still retained the go-kart handling and embraced the idea of making each Mini unique in customization options. In 2011, MINI unveiled two brand new models of MINI, the MINI Coupe and the MINI Roadster. These two models of MINI were based on the second generation hardtop design from the bell line down, but had two fewer seats, weighed just a little bit more than a hardtop, and had a much deeper raked window and coupe based design. Me, I'm more of a coupe design guy, so when I saw this car, I finally found my MINI, the MINI for me. After falling in love with the new MINI Coupe, I decided to see what it would cost to build my own the way I wanted. I wanted all the tech, I wanted all the fun stuff, so I went over to MINI site and built my coupe, my S Coupe that is. When it's all said and done, this is BMW, so we all know how BMW likes to get you accessories. My coupe ended up costing me around $33,000 with all the fun stuff included. I put my order in the next day, and then was introduced to the obsession that is tracking your MINI. North American motoring is a great place to hang out, some good people there. You realize that you're not alone. There's other MINI maniacs like you out there, and lots of them waiting for their Minis. And finally, I got that call to come into the dealership. The new MINI Coupe design is a design that either you love it or hate it. From what I've seen, most people love it. The design on the roof is like a backward baseball cap. It does have a retractable spoiler, however I did opt to get a fixed spoiler. I do believe that the fixed spoiler does complete the design of the coupe, even though that retractable spoiler is pretty cool. Overall, the design is great, I believe, and it's unique. It's a car you won't see anywhere else on the road, and hardly ever see another one like it on the road. I get questions every time I stop, and honestly, people, they love the design and are amazed that it's a Mini. However, one thing we do get asked every day is if the top comes off, and James Day made us a t-shirt that can tell them. The coupe's interior is basically like that of a hardtop. It has the quirky round dials, the center dial, center display with my Mini connected and speedometer, lots of toggle switches. Rear visibility, of course, is limited more so compared to normal, but the normal, my JCW spoiler, rear visibility is way better in my opinion. But I do recommend the parking sensors for when parking in the city since it does make it a lot easier. Driving around in the coupe makes you feel like you are in a little race car. The design is very cockpit feel, very modern, very premium feeling materials. You can tell it definitely is built by BMW when it's all said and done. However, there are a few quirks with the coupe and the interior. Occasionally you will have a rattle here and there, but thankfully fellow coupe owners will have fixes for such things by just adding some Velcro here and there. One of the things I've noticed that I don't have any rear clanking noises, but I don't also have the retractable spoiler, so I believe that also could be part of rattles. Nonetheless, the interior feel is very solid. I mean, you hit a bump, you're gonna feel it, but that's kind of part of par for the course in the regard that we have sports handling. Visibility really isn't that bad when you think about how big a car you have. It's just a matter of understanding your corners and your blind spots like any new car you get. I honestly love adaptive headlights. Adaptive headlights are when the lights move to where you're turning to. Definitely worth the upgrades. And I just love the fact that this is a Mini Cooper. It's a hot hatch that can actually have BMW premium car, luxury car features. Fiat's, their interiors are just not up to par to what I'm used to or what I wanted. Same with the Ford Focus. They're decent interiors, but they are not premium, and they're very limited at times, so. Now let's talk about the burble and pop and the sound the Mini makes. The Coupe is like the hardtop in that regard. However, it is a little louder and a little rougher sounding, which we all love. So let's take a little glimpse of how it sounds on burble popping, deaccelerating. Let's be honest, every time you hear a car do the burble pop, backfire, you kind of just smile and giggle a little bit inside as a kid almost. That's one of the funnest things I think about the Mini is how you have a very fun exhaust system. The Fiat Abarth has a very awesome exhaust too. I just feel that the way the Mini's done, it's very well done in a not over the top way. In regards to handling though, the Coupe and the Roadsters I believe have a different feel to them than the hardtop. The fact that their center of gravity is lower, the fact that they have a perfect 50-50 distribution, I think the hardtop has it also. But you gotta remember that we have a rear strut bar built into our Coupe since it's based on the Roadster design. And on top of that, I've added a front strut bar to the JCW. So handling is ridiculously awesome. You have this weird oversteer that you don't normally have in front-wheel drive cars, so you get that drift type feel. And talking about handling, I live in Minnesota, so the Coupes handle just fine in the winter. I've had it now 2 years, no issues yet, have yet to get stuck, knock on wood. And they do a very good job actually, ice, everything. You just gotta, turn off traction control at times when you're on ice or really, really wet roads. But for the most part, yeah, great job. Let's look at visibility when merging. This will be a good example I took with my Google Glass. When merging onto on-ramps, there definitely is a blind spot on the driver's side and passenger side. However, if you use your mirrors and do a glance, you usually are able to account for it. And after you get used to it, it's actually not too bad. It's like any car. To conclude, owning a Mini is not just about owning a fun and unique car, but also being part of a larger community of people that are very giving and helpful and just overall fun and quirky. Every Mini in our group that we have in Minnesota, the Minnesota United Minis, there basically are no two Minis that are the same, or owners that are the same either, which is great. We've done quite a few charity drives and other various charity events, and been in a couple parades. It's been a blast being part of this group. It just shows you that it's more than the cars, it's about the people and just helping others. To conclude my video, I'm going to just post my little video I made for our JDRF charity run and meetup we had this year. And want to thank you guys all for checking out my video on my MINI Cooper Coupe, and again, why I think it's an underrated car and it's a fun one. Why everyone should have one. Sadly, it will be discontinued this year by MINI. Thank you again.